Now, your local weather authority.
Well, good morning, everyone. We are tracking, of course, this winter storm impacting all of the Wabash Valley this morning. Snow totals a little bit greater than originally anticipated, but as we've gone through the overnight hours, if you've kept up on social media with many of our updates, we have adjusted those totals from some heavier snows from the first round and pretty intense snowfall in the overnight hours. I've been in contact with Mayor Brandon Sackbun, who this morning said to us they are working as hard as they can, but it's like fighting a losing battle right now. As the snow continues to fall, they are working hard to get to those streets in the city of Terre Haute and across the area. Sergeant Matt Ames from the Indiana State Police, whom we spoke with earlier, and you can see that interview on our Facebook and socials, said to us that I-70 and 40 and all of those highways are impassable at this point. So everyone is just encouraged to stay home. You have been out on the road, so let me just get your perspective. What does it look like?
I've been out since 5 o'clock this morning. Interstate 70 there's no traffic up there right now, and the lanes, you really can't find a lane. You're just driving down the middle of the Interstate 70. Where we're seeing most of the problem is when you're trying to exit the Interstate 70, the ramps are really snow covered, and that's due to the snowing being blown around and stuff. INDOT's out here working it, but as soon as they're taking it and putting out the plows down, it's just blowing right back up. You know, we still got a lot of snowfall right now too.
Yeah, the intense snow is falling really right now as we speak, and we're out here this morning around 7:30 in the morning, by the way. So let's talk about those trucks. Have you seen many of them out in your travels right now? Are they working?
Yeah, they're out there working. I actually seen one INDOT truck that was slid off of the interstate and was waiting on a wrecker to come and get them back out on the interstate. I seen 3 while I was out there in the last hour, so they're working and they're doing the best that they can, and you know, the conditions are not very good right now. You know, the most important thing is if you don't have to get out, stay home, and we're encouraging all motorists just to stay home. You know, there's no trip that's necessary right now for you to get out. You know, if you do need help, call 911. We'll get a first responder there to get you assistance. You
know, the governor issued the state of emergency across the state, really, because this isn't just impacting us here in the Wabash Valley, and I'm sure you've heard it from fellow troopers around the state. This is a state impact. This is a nationwide impact.
This is, and you know, the thing is you can follow all of our PIOs on the Indiana State Police, and I've been talking to some of them this morning from all the way down south all the way north, and they're all having the same difficult problems with people being out that shouldn't be out.
If people have an emergency, if they have to get out for whatever reason, and we're again encouraging you not, what are some simple things you like to remind people in this kind of weather?
Most important thing is make sure you have a full tank of gas, make sure you're cleaning all the snow and ice off of your vehicle, so therefore, you know, you're not going to be throwing any debris around, and that you can see everywhere. You want to make sure you be able to see out the back window using your rear view and side mirror so you can see what's coming up behind you. One thing I did find out this morning, though, is you're up on the interstate. Of course, the semis are still traveling, you know, 50 to 60 mile an hour out there, and they come up behind you pretty quickly. The best thing for you to do is just let off the accelerator, move over to the right as far as you can safely, and just let them go on by, and then continue on down on the roadway.
Well, we appreciate your time, and I know you all will be out doing your jobs throughout the day.
And you know, if you're out there and you happen to see a vehicle that's abandoned on the interstate, we're taking caution tape, we're placing that on them, or you'll see an orange sticker. So you don't have to call 911 to let us know it's already been checked and we've got it taken care of.
And if you do slide off on any of the roads and you call 911, stay in your car, right?
Yes. Most important thing is, stay in your car. That's where you're going to be the safest at. And then call 911 and we'll get a trooper there as quickly as possible.
Well, thanks for everything that you do. We're always grateful for all of our men and women out there who not only serve in law enforcement, but of course, all of these folks who serve the state of Indiana and all of our local communities out trying to clear these roads so that we can all get to where we need to go, especially tomorrow as we get into this. What it looks like on the south side of Terre Haute. This is our Blackburn-Romey Tower cam, and as you can see, it's just a coating of snow all across the south side of Terre Haute. And it's not just there. We can take you to places across the area. We can take you live to Charleston, Illinois, where you can see the snow starting to taper off just a little bit there, but obviously snow-covered roads even off to the north and across the Wabash Valley. A winter storm warning stays in effect for our entire area, and that continues through tomorrow morning. And when it comes to travel across the area, almost every county is at least under a travel watch. After this snow wraps up, The problem is it's not going anywhere, so those crews are out working in extreme cold, and an extreme cold warning will continue across the area. We've seen the drifting here at our studio. We have some decent drifts around the building. Winds have contributed to that drifting taking place out there, and over the next 48 hours, those winds are going to contribute not only to that, but at a 10 to 15 mile per hour wind with the kind of temperatures we're going to feel, that is going to contribute to bitter cold wind chill readings, staying below zero throughout the next 48-hour period. By tomorrow morning, wind chills will be running anywhere from 15 to as much as 30 below zero, and that will continue as we go throughout the day tomorrow with temperatures just bitter cold across the area.
So now comes the real challenge. It's going outside and trying to get to the spot where we have the board that we actually measure how much snowfall we've had here at the studio. So we're going to try to head out the door here. I have a feeling this is not going to go well. We have had very large drifts here at the studio. Okay, already a bad sign. I can't get the door open. I literally cannot get the door open. Oh my gosh. Okay, thanks, Tim. That was help from our general manager, Tim Sanders. Yeah, I'm not going to get to the board, so let's just measure where we are here. How's that? Here at our studio. Okay, that's easily 8.5 inches of snow. Just out our back door here on the patio, easily 8.5 inches of snow. Again, you can see though, there's drifting. You can see the traffic out there along 41, probably going at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. Crews are out, they're working, they're doing the best they can, still snowing. So this is all going to be tapering off as we hit that midday time period. That's when crews will really get out and start to do their work. But please, just if you can, stay inside, stay home, and like me, try to stay out of the drifts. We're joined now by Terre Haute Mayor Brandon Sackbun, who's been out working and seeing what's going on across his city, and I'm sure keeping in touch with all of those crews. Mayor, it's so good to see you, and thanks for talking with us today.
No, thanks for having me on the show. Obviously, right, 8 to 10 inches of snow is going to create a lot of problems for any community. We're really, when it's 4 or 5 inches and under, that's kind of actually our sweet spot. You can clear it off in a couple of passes and then dump extra salt and sand, so that way tires can connect to the roadway. With this much snow, it takes 4 or 5, sometimes 6 or 7 passes with that snowplow before you're even getting close to the street itself. That's when that salt and sand begins to actually become effective. You combine 8 to 10 inches of snow with really, really cold temperatures, and it's almost a worst case scenario. So what I'd ask of the community is to give us time and space to really work on these streets. We think when that snow stops later Sunday afternoon, 24 hours from when the snow stops, we believe we'll have the situation generally under control, and then we'll begin to move to some of our side streets. A lot of folks from the street department, waste department, police, fire, different city departments are actively out doing what they can, continuing to keep the city safe while continuing to plow our streets. So a lot going on. We do need some time. Really want to thank the County Highway Department and INDOT for the consistent communication as we try to really get a handle on this storm.
If you don't mind, just very briefly, talk about how that works in the city, because I know you go from main roads to kind of some of those side roads, and obviously parking lots for folks and city workers. That's going to be a whole nother topic of conversation.
That is. So let's start with the city workers. We're actually going to close City Hall on Monday. It will be essential employees only. Their management teams will get a hold of the folks who do need to come in. Parking lots are of course an issue, as are fire stations, the aprons, the drive approaches themselves, as are the police department parking lot, because we got to keep that functioning. So including cemeteries, right? There are still burials even during these times. So you factor in some of those smaller projects combined with the overall goal of opening city streets, and it quickly adds up. So obviously our priority is, think your main city streets. There is a map of that on the City of Terre Haute's website under Data Hub, and it basically color codes which streets are main, which streets are secondary. Historically, there are some streets in the city of Terre Haute that the city can't even quite get to. That being said, with 8 to 10 inches of snow, our goal is to get to every street. However, that's going to take time. I anticipate, we will be clearing snow for at least a week. Mostly because with the really, really cold temperatures, Mother Nature is really not helping us out as much as she normally does. So it's going to take a week before we get to everyone. We have as many crews as we can field out there right now, and we'll continue to fight through it the next couple of days.
Well, we are certainly grateful for everything they're all doing. And again, you're right. We just have to show some patience. When Mother Nature dumps this kind of snow on us, we have to have patience and perseverance. And I know that's something that you all will be exhibiting as well there with City Hall and all of the employees. So, Mayor, thank you so much for your time today. We sure do appreciate it. And we appreciate all of the workers out there today as well.
Thank you so much, Julie.
Thank you. Now the roads are being worked on, but it's going to take time to get through this kind of snow. We're joined now by Blake Dollier. He joins us to give us an update on those road conditions and things we need to know. Blake, always good to see you.
Billy, great to see you as well. And again, those greatest impacts we did expect to be Saturday evening through Sunday morning, but of course, things are not in tip-top shape just yet. The snow continues to fall here around the Wabash Valley. So we're going to continue to have all available plows and drivers out statewide. Again, that's covering those highways, interstates, and U.S. routes. We've got over 940 plow trucks and over 1,600 plow operators that are on standby here. And so it's an all-hands-on-deck situation. We encourage everybody to be as safe as humanly possible. And that all comes down to, if you don't have to travel, please do not do so at this time. But again, we understand that some people still have those essential duties. They may have to get out and about. And so we encourage everyone to, check, know before you go, that TrafficWise app or 511in.org, making sure your snow is all cleared off your car and things of that nature to make sure that you have all the visibility and safety before you hit the road. Of course, you need to be slowing down exponentially if you're out there throughout the course of the next few days. Roads are snow covered. Again, we're working diligently to keep them open and passable and make sure they're as safe as humanly possible. But this is a big event. And so it's while we're as prepared as we can be, it's something that you have to be as prepared as you can be as well.
Well, and with the Indiana Department of Transportation, and we talk about that preparation, there are some things people need to understand as well about this particular event, because the temperatures are so cold and will continue to be that way. That impacts the decision and the things that you're doing ahead of time, right?
Absolutely. And so, you keep that in mind. Of course, we do have a lot of salt residue that's left over from past events that's still out on the roadways that hasn't washed away. But if you add more salt or pre-treatment, it's not as effective when it gets below that 10 to 15 degree range. And so then it's even less effective when you get below 10 degrees, which, in your forecast, you've mentioned a lot of really frigid temperatures out there. So it's really difficult for us sometimes when that salt isn't as effective. So that makes our first line of defense have to be that plowing, scraping back of the blowing and drifting snow. And again, just making sure that it's all hands on deck and that we're continuing to operate as efficiently as possible. And again, that makes it tougher when the treatments that we typically use don't work as well. But, that's not going to stop us from being out there and doing as best we can to make sure that everybody that has to travel can do so as safe as possible.
Well, we really appreciate all of the things that you all are doing. And of course, we appreciate those 1,600 workers that you mentioned. Those are the ones that get out in all of this while we get to stay home. And we're so grateful for all of the work that they do. So please make sure they know that, Blake.
Will do. Thank you for the kind words there. I know they appreciate it. And, they've got decades of experience out there. So, while this may be something we haven't seen in a while, so to speak, they've seen it before and they know what to do and they'll be ready to go.
Blake Dollier with the Indiana Department of Transportation. Thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it. I know you'll be on top of things, and stay warm out there, would you please?
Thanks, Julie. You too.
So stay tuned for all the latest updates. We'll be here throughout the morning. We'll keep you updated on social media. And please, if you can, just stay home.